come with me. We're gonna do a slight little rundown of underneath the Mustang here. We had our first test drive in it yesterday. We're just doing a look to see what all we got going on. Well, we're looking to see what all we got going on. I want to show you the mod on the front fenders. So I don't know if you can see that. It's so that lip, the fender has been rolled, but it's more than that. You can't see any of the lines where we cut the fender. You can see where we left the back edge of the fender, where the back edge has still got a lip, but then it rolls up to nothing. And that was it's kind of the Shelby when you do the Shelby drop on it, and the Shelby drop is where you take, look right here, that bolt, and there's one in front of it. The original bolts set 1 1/8 inch higher than that, so we dropped the upper control arm 1 1/8 of an inch down, and that lowered the car. The other things the Shelby's got, this has got a 15-inch wheel, and if anybody's ever had a 15-inch wheel on a Mustang, they know they rub. And so they were really just meant for 14s. This has got a 215/70 R15 on it. And instead, what the Shelby GT350s did, they just rolled that fender under. And the front edge of it right here, you can see that the lip on the fender flare, it's like it comes through here to where it doesn't have any of the flare left on the Shelby GT350 cars. Well, instead of just rolling it in, being a street car, we pie cut the fender in about 6 different pieces, remade the shape of the wheel well to where it still looks stock. So it still has the full flare at the front edge. It's just further forward on the fender than what it was originally. And then we took a piece of TIG wire and we folded the lip with the TIG wire. And then we seam sealed it with 8115 panel bonds to where it, a lot of weld seams on fenders, it'll start to crack at that weld. Well, while sewing the piece of TIG wire in there, it prevents that from happening. And seam sealing it with panel bond actually glues the panel together at the backside. So that's something that nobody will notice, but it fits a 15-inch wheel without rubbing with a combination of custom work and taking what the Shelby GT350 cars had done to them. So we talked about the Hotchkiss suspension. All that's Hotchkiss stuff. It's got the green drop transmission in it. Let's go back to some more modification stuff. So they say the Hotchkiss subframe connectors will not work with the convertible because they've got this extra seat brace right here. We went ahead and cut a section of the seat brace out and went ahead and installed the subframe connector, welded it at both ends. Something that you wouldn't see, all the structure around the convertible top, that was all seam welded. The rockers are seam welded completely, so even though it's convertible, there's been a lot of extra welding done on the car to make it ride nice. We talked about the Kenny Brown jacking rail on later Mustangs. We built our own jacking rail right here, and we welded it to the bottom where the rocker pinches. So even though it's convertible, you could jack on the rocker right there, pick it up, change the tire. Really makes it ride and handle better, even for being a convertible. We had that nice door gap before, and you can see on the lift, you can come in, get square on that door gap. It didn't really change being up on the lift. The door gap's still nice and tight, even though it's being suspended in the air, and that just doesn't happen on these first gen Mustang convertibles. They were really weak. So that's just to show how much chassis stiffening you can really do if you put a little thought into it when you're doing it. On with the rest of the build. It's got Dynamax. They're the fully welded Dynamax muffler. We went from 2.25 at the manifold, which is all the 289 manifolds do, to 2.5 out the back. The tank is actually a part of the Holley sniper system. It came with that. Really one of the big things that the owner wanted, the brakes on this car always sucked. So this was one of their mandatory have-to-haves, was the four-wheel disc brakes, because the car would just not stop before. Fox shocks from Hotchkiss, and the Krager wheels was the other. It had to be red, had to have a wide interior, had to have power disc brakes, and I had to have Krager wheels, and that was pretty much our outline for this car when we started it. So we met all of the criteria for the build. I think I pretty much covered everything. On this car, we shot bedliner on the bottom instead of undercoating, because bedliner's catalyzed and the undercoating's reversible, so it's just got a little extra chemical resistance on it. So that's underneath the '66 Mustang convertible.